And the key is the growth of a company's revenue or profit always come from the growth of people.
Yes. Welcome to the Break Mortar Cloud podcast, where we share about scaling stories in F&B and retail. I'm Jensen, one of the co-founders of Staff Any, and today we have Yong Hong from Greendot, a co-founder as well as CEO.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Yong Hong, to the show.
Thank you.
Yong Hong, can you give an introduction about yourself, how you started Greendot and how did the journey begin?
I started Greendot back in 2011, and I was in NUS Business School year 2. So my business partner Justin asked me if I want to start a vegetarian store in school. So a lot of people ask me why did I start Greendot. Actually, the real reason is I didn't think so much. If I have thought so much about the hardship that I'll be going through, I think I probably wouldn't have jumped in because I have never stepped into the kitchen before. So on the first day where they say, hey, Yong Hong, go and wash rice, I was thinking, hey, how to wash rice? Yeah, so that was how raw. So if you know how to cut veggie and wash rice, I think you got a better chance of succeeding at F&B. Yeah, so basically that was how we started. I know Justin back in Chongqing High School. And back then in school, he always didn't have much option to eat. So we thought that, hey, why don't we start a vegetarian store in school to provide an option for our juniors who are also vegetarian. So to make them not feel left out being a vegetarian.
I see.
Yeah.
So were you also a vegetarian when you first started? How's this vegetarian journey is?
No, I became a vegetarian about, I think 5 to 6 years ago. And halfway through Greendot journey. And of course, Greendot helped me a lot. But when I first started, I wasn't a vegetarian. So, and that was one of the reasons why we started Greendot, because when we first started in school, we were looking at why school store they open and close, and then that was there when we realized that actually the real reason is the market demand, because a lot of vegetarian stores in school they only try to target the vegetarians in school, which is about maybe less than 5% of population. So when we started Greendot, we thought that if we are to target the same number of people, we won't be able to survive. So we must build a brand that can target the non-vegetarian. So I start to build Greendot with Justin to cater to people like me, whom we call the flexitarian.
Flexitarian, that's right. Yeah. I'm a flexitarian, and every time I go to Greendot, I'm very excited that the lion's head mushroom, rendang sauce, that really tastes super amazing. And I think for flexitarians like myself, it's a really good place to dine in. So Greendot is currently started in school, and they went through quick service restaurants. I think you have like 13 outlets right now. And recently I was at Changi Jewel and I see a Greendot Plus. Greendot Plus, I saw waffles and everything. Can you share a little bit more about the vision of the brand and the story behind expanding into Greendot Plus and many things?
This is our 12 years in Singapore. So I also go through several life changes. So I became a father.
Congratulations.
At the start of last year. So when I look at my customers, because Greendot we don't only target the vegetarian, we also target the non-vegetarians like the ladies. So I can see that they also have moved to different stages. Maybe they are also having their young family. Then I felt that Greendot in the past was very fast casual, and I want to build a place where my customer group, the ladies, can also bring their +1, their +0.5,
the kids,
to their kids to our outlet and enjoy family time. Because Greendot is not just about having plant-based food; it's also about helping our customer groups, the ladies, to take care of and love themselves.
That's awesome. Yeah. And bringing their +1s and +0.5 to the new Plus restaurants.
And we started a whole vegan pastry and cakes department because we have a lot of inquiries from our customers. Because last time we used to sell food only, and they were asking about, how about pastry? And we realized that pastry and cakes are also an important part of their lifestyle. Right. And that's why we started all these vegans pastry and cakes.
So in 2024, 2025, do we expect to have more, pastry shops, and how's the vision like for business expansion? Are you guys having more +1s? How's the plan like looking for 2024 and 2025?
I think for 2024 and of course is the year is challenging in terms of rising costs and especially manpower. So I feel that this is the time where you really go in depth into understanding customers and solving their pain points rather than focusing on quick expansion. At least for us, I feel that it's about fine tuning our current concepts and helping us serve the customers better.
That's awesome. 稳扎稳打, right? And also understanding the customer segments very well.
I think different stage of life, and I think we are also looking at overseas for opportunities.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people think about quick service restaurant, think about wanting to have their own restaurant chain, or like, even someone might say, hey, I also want to do my Greendot version themselves. What sets your business model apart from other quick service restaurants? Like, what's the differentiator that Greendot strives to provide as an experience to other people?
Of course, in terms of food wise, I think people are place a lot more emphasis on health. So everybody have different perspective on health. Some people feel that health is less salt, less oil, or less sugar. Or some people feel that health is salad or raw food. Then for Greendot, actually, besides plant-based, our emphasis on health is actually a balanced meal.
Balance.
Yeah, so that you see that our best selling category is actually our bento. Because why? Because if you look at in the past, maybe 10 years ago, if you go to a shopping mall, you go to Asian cuisine, a lot of them are selling fried rice, fried noodle. And so it's very carbo based.
Yes.
So we realized guys like us, maybe we love it. But really ladies are looking for fibers in their meals. Therefore, vegetables in their meals. Because why they want fibers in their meal, if you really think deeply, is that when you have more fiber, your digestion, your motion is better.
Yes.
And that translates to better skin.
Oh,
and when
okay,
you
complexion.
better skin, then that makes them happier.
Right.
So actually, F&B, I feel that you cannot just solve, having good food and good taste is the benchmark, but you must solve a pain point to be able to benchmark yourself in this industry.
Super. I learned something new about how having good bowels and clearing will help with skin complexion. I need to eat more fiber myself. People are talking about my skin complexion.
Of course, this is a sensitive topic, but then I think
I wanna learn something.
everybody, when they go to toilet and they come out very quickly, means then they feel happy, rather than you get stuck there.
Right. So, Greendot has been around for many years. You started it with Justin when you guys were schoolmates, right?
Yeah.
So there must be a lot of challenges and triumphs, like, stories that you all went through. Can you share maybe a challenge that you all overcome most recently in the last 2 years that you guys are very proud of as a business?
I think for SMEs, from startup to chain restaurant, the one of the toughest thing is people. When we were startup, we don't have that much money to pay the best dollar for staff. Then how do you get them to follow you, and how do you get them to help you and to run the business? I remember about 5-6 years ago when I just took over as CEO, because first 5 years Justin was the CEO. I was the CEO assisting him. Then he moved on to the supply chain, and I took over the business as a whole. So that the period of time, I remember I was working 7 days, 7 to 10 p.m. every day, just to get the business moving. And I have a problem. Everything, my staff was calling me, boss, the light spoil, boss, the dustpan spoil, boss, the tap leaking. Right. So I realized that if now I'm only at like 7-8 outlets, then if I continue to scale, it doesn't mean that I become like a high class handyman,
chief everything officer.
Yeah, so we all the startup CEO, I think they face this problem.
Right.
So how do I build to have, how do I move from being good at everything to having a team to support? Because that's where I realized that all the problems that my company are facing is because of myself. All the problems that we are facing is because of my limitation, and I'm the biggest limitation for my company. And that's why I start to change the way the whole company is run. I start to put in incentive system. I start to put
KPIs.
in KPIs. I start to build ownership and sense of belonging to the company. Until today, we have a strong team to support the running of the company.
Awesome. I think people is the most important resource in any team or any business. And going through that journey made you a better leader.
Yeah.
How about the recent success? What do you think is something that you guys are very proud of, an initiative that you started that maybe you can share with our audience that maybe you didn't expect it to happen that way, but it turned out very, very well?
I think one of the key thing that we started recently was our vegan pastry and cakes. Initially, we were just
experimenting first.
Experimenting. In the past, as a CEO, one biggest lesson is that in the past, when I try to learn something, I will go all the way in to learn something. So in the past, maybe if I were to build a vegan patisserie or vegan pastry, I will go and learn baking for 1-2 years and understand, and I do it myself. But I over the years I grow and I realize that it's all about having the idea and direction, and you can attract the right people to do things. And I remember I started from seeing one of my staff wife was doing a vegan pastry, and I asked her, hey, can you create some menu for me, and we want to sell something. And that's where we R&D and we came out with a series of cake. But when we are about to launch, then we one day we were interviewing at our outlet. Then one of the chef walked in, and the chef wanted to just apply for a bento auntie role. Then I said, hey, you got 20 years of baking experience.
Just nice.
Why don't you join me? Then she was saying, vegan cakes, is there a demand for it? Because last time when she was working, maybe maybe in a month, maybe there's only 1 or 2 customers requesting for vegan cakes. And then she was a bit doubtful, but I said, why not you just try lah? And then we tried and then realized that, because when you sell vegan cakes through Greendot brand, I think people tend to be more receptive, and the demand is there. And I think a lot of customers have this demand.
I think just nice with this shift appears 天时地利人和. You find the right people to help you scale this business as well.
If not, the old me will learn pastry for 2 years and before I launch.
Awesome. And that makes you move a bit faster as a business. So, we are going to the next part of the show where we talk about business insights. Talking about scaling business and KPIs are very important incentives. So, as a business, Greendot, what kind of KPIs do you usually track? And, what kind of metrics do you look at every week or every 2 weeks as a CEO?
Our company has a very good culture that just like what I said just now regarding how to make our staff have their sense of ownership. About 4-5 years ago, where we start making this change, one of the first thing that we did was to open up all our numbers to our outlet and to our staff.
Revenue numbers and cost numbers.
Outlets, sales, rental, labor costs, everything.
Everything transparent.
Wow. We sent out to the group and everybody can see.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest thing that we did, and I think even my shareholders were saying, is this possible? So that was one of the first thing that we did to build this ownership. So they know their numbers, they know their food costs, they know their labor costs, everything they know. But when we first launched this, I realized there wasn't any impact. Yeah, you know why? Because after I realized that a lot of my staff are auntie, uncle, and Malaysian, Chinese, so we put in Mandarin, so they don't understand what is COGS. So after that, we start to translate and we start to educate them, and it helps. So they start to understand their costs. So I realized that ownership is where you have transparency for them to take responsibility of what they are using. So, of course, the few numbers that we look at are, of course, the sales and our labor costs, our food costs, and also our utility costs, and lastly, our EBITDA. These are the few things that our outlet can control.
Yeah, so the outlets will know if the outlet is profitable, EBITDA positive or not. They will know if they need to 加油 and work harder or stuff.
Yeah, because we take 15% currently of our EBITDA to share with the staff.
Wow, as a dividend or as an incentive program?
15%.
Also, if anybody is looking to join Greendot, you can have.
Of course, it's real hard work.
Of course.
And initially, that's the second phase that we launched. We open up and we share the incentive. But after I shared the incentive, there was one day I went to one of my very busy outlet next. And I was sitting there and eating. Then I realized that the outlet wasn't very well managed. Also, although the business was good. So I realized that that is not the key. This is not the experience I want. So after releasing incentive, I added the audit insight. So they will be audited monthly based on their hygiene and also their customer experience.
Right. So there's a more like a qualitative assessment as well.
You give and you must also
Carrot and stick.
request something from them.
Right.
So they must meet
balance.
So they must be above 70 in their audits before they can be entitled to the incentive.
That's really good. So when we talk about costs, people always talk about rising costs both in food and in labor. Let's start with the food first. On the food side of things, Greendot, I know you guys have a very good relationship with the farms and have direct supply relationship with them. Does that mean that you manage to keep your COGS very, very low? What kind of COGS ratios are you usually aiming for when you have
I think fast casual is about 28 to 32 to 35.
Right.
So yeah. So of course, I think with a good relationship through our supply chain, it helps in terms of getting better quality veggie. But I think I think as a SME, we cannot run away from all the rising costs. We are still like every other F&B. But maybe the good thing is we have better access to quality vegetables and supply.
See, because always people think that vegetables might be, you order cai fan, right? Then the vegetable is a bit cheaper than the meat, right? So people always have the misconception that, vegetarian means I can keep my COGS very low. That's
the key difference. You know why we sell bento? Of course, somebody say we are cai fan. Some people call us the atas cai fan. Actually, you see, a lot of things nowadays is people take the old things and they redo it in a different way. Actually, we are also redoing cai fan in a better way. First thing, a lot of people, the cai fan, you go to the store, probably the veggie they bring in every day and they just cook. Maybe they don't go through a series of treatment or washing of vegetable or cutting. So we does that at our central kitchen and also at our outlet. At the same time, all our we use better quality vegetables in giving to our customers.
Right.
And also at the same time, all our vegetables are cooked in small portion. In Chai Fan, when you go there, they already cook one and they will just sell at the end.
Correct. Yes.
So we are constantly cooking. We walk into Greendot outlet, can hear the cling, 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 cling smell. We are constantly cooking them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then I vouch for the quality of the food over there. So it doesn't have that misconception. Greendot still has to improve COGS ratios. Is not a given that it is always very low and aiming for what the industry is shooting out for 32%. How about labor costs? So you mentioned that请人很难, right? Hard to high-find people, the right people, and with the 15% incentive that you guys are giving to your workers and team members, how are you guys trying to manage labor costs in this high labor cost environment with PWM and whatsoever coming in?
Of course, the first mindset that I think a lot of leaders must have is people is always an asset, not a cost.
Agree.
If you see that as a cost, then you will always try to save costs, which of course reduce the trust and faith of your teams in your leadership. And the key is honestly the growth of a company's revenue or profit always come from the growth of people.
Yes.
This is the key
100%.
thing that a leader must believe in. And for us, of course, in the current context, we always talk about recruitment, hiring people. If you are still stuck in the part where you are doing recruitment, you are actually very slow already. The new way of hiring is called attraction. So you cannot go out and say, I want to recruit people. You need to go out and go out there and build your employer branding, what you stand for. And honestly, SMEs, maybe we are about 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, or 500 people company. We're not hiring 1 million or 100,000. So actually, it's not a lot of people. But I'm sure if you have to be unique culture, that you want to attract 200 people who are like you to come and join you. So it's about telling your story, building your employer branding to find people who believe and wants to follow you.
100%. I think creating an employer brand is very, very strong. And I think that for Greendot, you guys have successfully done so, not only on the fun pictures that sometimes you see on the annual retreat and all, but I think really being like transparent, living the values that you say that you strive to have. So in terms of labor then as a ratio of your business revenue, is there a target then that you all try to strive? Is there a goal for maybe the QSR concepts versus maybe the patisserie concept, or do you have like
Actually, labor,
goals?
we are also looking about 28 to 32. Yeah.
That's actually very, very healthy.
Yeah.
With the central kitchen, does it help you push your labor costs down?
Central kitchen, of course, but central kitchen, of course, and it helps in the consistency of our food.
Right.
Yeah.
So over here, seems like you have taken a lot of actions and steps to help with managing food costs as well as labor costs. So moving on to the second last section where we talk about scaling and digitalization. Can you share a little bit more on your take on what's your perspective about digital transformation in your business?
I think it's important because we can get better access to data, and it helps you make better decisions. And also, you can save a lot of time on very time-consuming work.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest part about digitalization, because it's not about how much revenue you make and how much it's about being efficient, making the revenue efficiently. If you need a lot more labor, if you need a lot more resources to make, it's not so efficient. So I think digitization help us do that. And over the years, I think we have spent a lot of effort to digitize not only the F&B side, but also the HQ side. Of course, working with Staff Any.
Thank you.
And also Telenox, we were one of their first users
yes.
when they first started out.
Yeah,
and also our finance, we have ported to Zero,
right.
I think many years ago.
Right.
And I think I'm able to look at the numbers very quickly, anywhere I want, anytime I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that mindset of digitalization allows you to scale and results in you having more productive time.
Yeah.
Is there one or two interesting trends you see in digitalization outside of what you mentioned recently? Is there one or two areas that you're like, hey, this is quite interesting. I heard something new about this area.
You mean in terms of F&B or?
F&B technology, F&B digitalization, something interesting in the space that you have seen. New startups helping with F&B, anything you saw?
New startups.
If there isn't, then if there's a dream wish list, what do you hope something will appear for you to solve one big pain point that you are facing as a F&B entrepreneur? Yeah.
I think I think that nowadays there are a lot of online videos online short videos online like content So I think this is a part that I feel that Greendot is not the best at it. So I hope that, of course, there are someone there are a company that can, more and more companies that can help us be more professional, or help us create such things to help us able to drive more traffic to our brand.
100%. That digitalization and technology is not only for cost optimization, it's also for revenue driving, and I think that's a great thing. So I'm moving on to the final section of our show actually, which is the quick fire questions. So I'll ask you a quick question and then you answer in one sentence or a few words.
Okay.
Don't have to think too much about it. So are you ready?
Okay.
Let's go.
I try.
Who is someone in the industry whom you learn a lot and follow a lot from?
I learn a lot and follow a lot in the industry. In Singapore, actually, I respect Josh Quack, the toast bar. But of course, I haven't met him before. But I feel that the brands he built is really well thought and is very innovative.
Right.
So I think that's one F&B leaders that I really respect.
Right.
But I don't know.
If George, if you are listening to this show, I hope you have a chance to have a coffee together with three of us. Sure. I would love to learn with you as well.
In terms of business philosophy, actually, it's not in the industry, but it's the boss of Sheng Siong.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Lim.
Mr. Lim, yes.
I spoke with him on the phone once. Yeah, so I think even it was 45 minutes, I think it was a very enriching and inspiring 45 minutes.
He's a legend in the whole Singapore scene.
In the way how he inculcates philosophy into his businesses.
Right. Yeah. What is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you first started out?
Maybe just enjoy the journey. Yeah, rather than thinking that it's very tough, because this tough journey is part and parcel of your growth.
If you have a son or daughter that's interested to join you in this journey in F&B, what's one advice you give him or her?
I wouldn't ask my son or daughter to join my business unless Greendot or my business then is the top 3 in the industry. I think I'll be wasting his or her time.
I see. So unless you're a top 3 and give him the pink tie, the stage, and then
Unless I feel that there's a great future in the company that I built. If not,
Right.
I think a lot of parents try to ask the kids to come and join them, but maybe their business already going downwards,
Decline,
or
yeah,
maybe
maybe.
not so good already. But you ask your kids, he or she might have a better opportunity outside.
right. But I'm very confident you're top 3. Very, very, very confident. So your son and daughter cannot run already.
20
Actually,
years
that's a-
I must
That's
try
a
to.
trick question, actually. If you were to dine in one of your restaurants with your good friend, right? Let's say if George is willing to join you for a meal in your restaurant, what will you order for him on the table to have a meal together?
Of course, if you want something that is very tasty and delicious, we go for the laksa and our rendang. I
love the
think that's
rendang.
that's our best seller. Then of course that day if he's feeling healthy, and because I will recommend him to eat our bento.
Awesome. I love the rendang, by the way. I can't stop eating that. How should people interested in following your journey or your brand follow you?
Follow me. I think follow my brand can follow Greendot on
And the Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, and also my journey, my personal. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is, are you willing to offer one mentorship coffee or Zoom call with someone interested to learn more about F&B?
Of course, I think giving back is a big part when we are as part of entrepreneur.
Right.
Of course, if I can help in any way and I can have the time, I will.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a final question here that's not part of the quick fire, but this is a part of the end of our show already.
Yeah.
I know that you are practicing an active Buddhist. How has some of these values and philosophy guide you in this journey so far?
I think Buddhism, of course, is not just about religion. It's about life wisdom, and you can see all these this life wisdom are timeless. So they are applicable from the olden days till now. So I feel that sometimes where you are, because in this world right now, everything is changing so fast.
Right.
Everything is moving so fast. Sometimes you get very worried. But whenever I get worried, I start to take out these books and read. Then you start to understand the root of this problem or root of these worries that you have, and it helps you feel more at ease, at peace. I think that's very important because as a leader, it's a peace of mind, and to in the midst of all this stress and pressure, you are able to come down to a peace of mind and make better decisions is very important. So I think Buddhism is a wisdom to help you reach this stage.
Right. Really good way in helping with mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
So, parting words. Any final words for our audience before we end our show today?
I think that focus on in the earlier stage of your career or when you're a startup. Of course, we all know that been through that stage that you work hard, but maybe your tangible rewards is not as much. So I feel that this stage is about focusing on who you are becoming rather than what you're accumulating.
Super awesome. So, really thank you so much for joining us at the show today. I learned so much from you, and I believe many of the listeners as well. Look forward to see you in the outlets and have a good, rendang laksa as well as the bento boxes together.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yong. Thank
Thank
you.
you.